Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Angie and today we're starting another game review. It's a demo review of a game called Chronotopia, who is right now on the Kickstarter. It's more of a let's play than a review, but I'm showcasing my favorite elements and there's been just too many for one video and I do not like making long videos because I know personally I don't like watching long videos, so I prefer to divide content in shorter videos. And there really is two types of content I want to show you guys, and I thought I'll just divide this into two videos because of. And now please enjoy this little video. You just got a piece of your memory back, right? Who are you? How stupid of me. I did not introduce myself. Where are my manners? My name is Liz. I'm this village's wise woman, and I'm going to be with you during the inner journey you're going to make in the following days. I don't get it at all. What am I doing here? What is this place? Don't worry. My job is also to tell you about the rules of this world. What happens when the shadows don't recall their dream? I couldn't help but gulp as I waited for the answer. The wavering shadow is locked in the purification hall for several days so they can meditate and get rid of the mist in their mind. After those few days, if they manage to get their memories back, they will have the right to join us. However, if they fail for whatever reason, they are denied. There's no other way to say wavering shadows? I'm glad you asked. Ooh, she got some tea. She got something good. You see, some time ago we would simply throw them into the purification hall, waiting for them to overcome their trial by themselves. When I came here, I offered to help wavering shadows recall their past lives using a method called mnemotherapy. That's the reason why those girls brought you to. Basically, I'm able to travel from one world to another. They are all closed spaces, but I can walk between worlds to find my way. I can't be seen by the inhabitants of those other worlds, but I can watch many things. That's why I'm able to take you with me in Uchronia, and why I'm a respected member of the village. Nobody else is able to do this. Wait, you want me to witness past events you've already seen yourself? How is that even possible? I would say that when you're kind of past your life and in purgatory, you should expect everything to be possible. Yes and no. Like I said, these are Uchronias, temporal utopias. Shadows are not really people to begin with, and the things you see in your dreams are not really from your past life. In fact, we are ideas, all of us. Our dreams are our concepts, but the concept is a shifting thing, so it's quite normal to be put to sleep and come back to life as a new variation of that concept. The thing is, nobody here realizes it, or rather, nobody wants to admit it, because if there's an idea, then there's someone who thought of that idea, and being the toy of some unseen being is not pleasant. Ideas? But ideas can't feel and think, that's ridiculous. We have to be human. You know what? Forget it. You have to be a human being. I was only joking. Ha ha ha. That was so funny. He's so stupid. Like, obviously she was very sarcastic about it being a joke, and he's still like, oh yeah. Because you don't want to admit, like, no one would ever want to admit that maybe they're less than a human. How do you And he asked the same question. With magic, I'm a witch. Voila, there's nothing more to know about me. She's so freaking annoyed at me. We can learn how to use magic? No, you can. Only I am able to do it because I'm special. I'm the chosen one. Love, it's like, okay, let's tell him how it is all their other games. No one likes my metaphysical, creative ramble, so let's just go for it. I see, I get it. You should have told me this sooner, so... Oh my god. Our heart there should be punched. I hate you all so much sometimes. The descendant of a great family from Mauritania, the princess was as wise as she was beautiful. With her fierce fortresses and strong personality, she was soon handed the reins of the country. Her wealth came from a magical donkey she had inherited from her ancestors. The animal could make gold and jewels at will that she collected to erect roads and buildings which would serve the interests of her people. Under her reign, works of art and of all sorts were developing, and her people lived without ever having to fear hunger, since she always found a solution. God seemed keen on satisfying her in return. The princess indeed fell deeply in love with a young, inexperienced but honest noble, who had eyes for nobody else. He was from a famous family of 12 sons, and since he was one of the last born, he lacked attention, and so desired to settle himself far from them, so he could write his own tale. She gave him love and respect, and he asked for no more. From their marriage, a daughter was born, and she was already on the path to being as wise and brave as her mother. Year after year, the king and the queen ruled together as fairly as possible. The magical donkey from which came their wealth was treated well, and the couple's life seemed perfectly desirable. A magical atmosphere hung over the realm, and there were rumors the queen had to be part fairy to meet success in everything she was doing. Thus, no other country looked more like a fairy tale than this one. As the couple were enjoying their life, full of ideas to make their country a better place, misfortune eventually struck. The queen, who everyone thought invulnerable, fell critically ill. Even though the king called the best physicians in the world, nobody was able to find a cure for the sickness which was devouring the queen from the inside. Days passed, citizens were getting more and more restless, and the family more depressed, but to no avail. Realizing she was going to draw her last breath, the queen called her husband next to her deathbed. She was still young, and she would have gladly kept working on all major undertaken projects. But she was even more remorseful for leaving her husband and daughter so soon, as she loved the both of them so tenderly. So many things to do, so many memories to have, so many beautiful moments to live. Alas, pain was carving a deep chasm into her breast. As the king leaned over her, stretching a hand towards her, with the saddest look he ever had. She was struggling to tell him her last wills, her face partially paralyzed and ridden with painful spasm. The queen exhaled excruciating moans. "My dear, this is the end of me, for me." "Hush, don't say anything. Don't wear yourself out." "I still believe. I have got to believe. We'll find a cure and you will be better soon, I promise." "It is hopeless. I know this." "No, I cannot believe it." "Before I depart, I'd like you to do something for me. I love you, you know it, and I love the young princess too. I cannot stand imagining you crying over my death for too long. I want you to be happy above all else." "What are you trying to say, my dear?" "I know how you are. You will not be able to accept my death. You have always searched for my eyes, for my attention. I already know all too well how sad you will be. But you will not be able to mourn my death until the end of time. I'd rather follow you in death than live without you, my lady." "How silly of you." "The kingdom needs you. Our daughter needs you. Don't leave them behind, even for my sake." "But sooner or later, you will have to overcome my death. I want you to live, my beloved. I want you to live for me. I will never stop thinking about you. Then please allow me to request something of you. I insist that you remarry. Find someone who will make you happy again, someone able to take my place by the people, by our daughter, the princess." "But I cannot do this." "Nobody will ever place you in my heart. I know it is painful. It is painful for me as well. Deep inside, I feel so angry imagining you in the arms of somebody else. But I am not selfish. I want you to be happy above anything else. If I am not here anymore, I want for at least a woman as wise as me to know how to heal your heart. This is my last wish." "How could I fulfill such a cruel request? You are the one my heart craves, the only one." The queen laughed sadly. Fear was causing her excruciating pain. Soon it was near impossible for her to talk. Her eyes were getting more and more obfuscated, to the point that she was unable to make out her husband's grinning face as he cried beside her. Stretching a hand towards him, towards the light, she tried rubbing his cheek one last time. Regretful, she could not help but silently shed some tears. The aching was become so intense, she was losing her touch with reality. "My fate is such a cruel one. I only want to live by your side, to bask in your innocent smile for all eternity. Yet I have to go. That is God's will. I do not want to, of course I do not. It is too soon. There are still so many things I have to do here. It is too late, however. I cannot do anything but face it." The mere idea of being in your place is harrowing. To imagine someone else living in my quarters, ordering my retainers, settling in my home. To think about someone else in your arms, embracing you, kissing you, giving you new hairs. To think about someone else getting the affection of my daughter, attending her wedding, raising and supporting her. It is making me die inside. Jealousy is eating what remains of me. I'd rather still be here. I would rather have lived those beautiful days forever. But it's impossible. Therefore, even if it pains me, even if the thought is unbearable, you must find happiness. You must forget me. And that is so painful to me. You probably thought I would face death with dignity, stoic and calm. That is how people see me. However, I am only human after all. I wish I had been more righteous, but through this pain that is tearing my body to dust, all that remains are regrets. Thus they bid a tearful farewell to each other. Some time later, the queen died in unbearable suffering, and the king was inconsolable. As sensitive and deeply in love as he was, he deemed that no girl from any good family could rival his late wife. He refused to remarry and swore to never change his mind. The whole kingdom was mourning the death of its queen. One of the greatest ceremonies ever made was organized in her honor. It went on for several days and nights. Whether farmer or merchant, rich or poor, each citizen took part in the funeral. They decorated the city with lanterns in several places. Some water lanterns were even put on a great lake for her sake. At night, the candles could be seen all the way from the lord's castle. The young princess, as sorrowful as her father, found comfort in admiring those lights. Those flickering lights looked like spots of hope to her. However, the country seemed to be consumed by a steadfast evil, harbinger of storms. Those things would never be the same again. As the years passed, the kingdom slowly declined. Since his wife's death, the king had lost any hint of motivation and could not bring himself to do anything. He cancelled the current great works the country was working on, since they had all lost meaning without her, and he locked himself up in stillness and silence. The citizens felt neither heard nor supported, and discontent was growing. Yet the king did not care. It almost seemed like he was trying to be hated by his people. Only the magical donkey was keeping the kingdom from going bankrupt. However, the inevitable happened. The donkey's fame went beyond the kingdom's borders, and several neighboring and wealth-seeking lords tried to invade the lands, leaving them scarred by wars. The once lively castle was now a shadow of its former self. Artists and merchants were fleeing one after another, looking for more auspicious lands. The people had lost all faith in their lord. At first, the king's apathy and inexperience were convenient for the nobles. Since he was handling the country rather poorly and was showing no sign of resistance, opportunistic councillors took advantage of this to seize control of the realm and get richer behind his back. However, the decadent mood was not so convenient anymore. After some time, but it wasn't already too late, the councillors realized that there was nothing to be expected from the current king, who had become impassive. They had to do something fast for a greater good. Factions appeared. Some thought the king could still take care of the realm until the princess's wedding, with whom he would become the new king. Others hoped for the princess to seize the throne earlier than expected, while some others advised the king to find a new wife who could revive his will, or even that he go back to his home and leave the country with a new government. The most extremist nobles had no problem suggesting taking care of the king once and for all, but that last option would not satisfy anyone. They all lived in the wake of a previous queen, and they all wanted to honor her memory, but no one seemed to understand what she had been trying to build.